Um, One of my like biggest traumas is I have like something I've been moving through is like my relationship with money, right? And also my relationship with support and accepting support. Um, Money used to be used against me a lot to control me, and also for people to feel like they have ownership of me, and also to control what I do with myself, right? Um, so like it was just my stomach. Um, so like if I had bills to pay or I had like something to do, you know what I mean? Like I would basically punish myself. So like I wouldn't nourish myself, or like, like even buying toothpaste or like buying deodorant. There was a time where I didn't even buy deodorant or like things to care for myself. Like I would use other people's toothpaste, or like um I would make my own toothpaste, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it came from a place of scarcity, of like feeling like if I have bills to pay, then I'm not allowed to nourish myself. If I have things to take care of, I'm not allowed to eat, or I'm not allowed to do this. And that comes from, childhood wounds and stuff like that, and also growing up in scarcity. You know what I mean? Like when you grow up too and your family is poor, um, and like you get yelled at for like little things. Like my mom, when she was worried about money, would be so overstimulated and like lash out. So like I could ask for something or be like, oh, can I have this toy, and she like screams at the top of her lungs. So like it teaches you not to ask for support and not to ask for help, or like things like that, right? Or make you feel like less deserving. So like um something I'm moving through right now is still nourishing myself even when I have things I have to do. um and like telling myself that like I'm allowed to still have responsibility, but I'm also allowed to still take care of myself. Like taking care of myself is the main responsibility and priority. I can't take care of anything else unless like I can't, because then I'm not nourished, and then I'm giving from scarcity and not giving from overflow. But like this morning I've been battling in my head. I'm kind of hungry and I don't have food to eat, right? And all of the money I've gotten from the GoFundMe is going straight to Gollum's bills, and I have some of my own money. I have money that I'm putting in like too, but I have like money set aside for like food and stuff like that. And I was like, I really just want to go and get a smoothie. And so for about 2 hours now, I've been sitting here basically talking to myself, telling myself, do I deserve a smoothie? And then I was thinking too, like I was thinking, like, why do I feel that way? Like me going and spending $7 of my money on a smoothie isn't like, yeah, that $7 could go towards Gollum's bill, but $7 isn't detrimental. You know what I mean? Like me getting a smoothie that's nourishing for myself and my nervous system and my body to help me calm down. Like I don't have a blender or anything like that to make my own smoothies. Um, but yeah, so I was just like thinking about that, and I was like really reflecting on like, why is it so hard for me to just get in the car and go get a smoothie? I'm sitting here for 2 hours debating on if I am worthy of a $7 smoothie. And that's when it came to me, and I was kind of sitting here with the cards, and I was like, let's dive deeper into this feeling, because why for 2 hours am I thinking about getting a smoothie? And then I was thinking about all the thoughts that were coming up and all the memories that were coming up as to like why I'm feeling this way. And then I realized what I'm moving through right now is nourishing myself and also allowing support, because I would allow support before, but it was always something given of me, like support for intercourse, support for time spent, support for control. People would be like, yeah, I'll support you, but this is how I'm going to support you. This is what you're going to do with it. And this is what I require of you in order for you to receive this support, right? And with my SA trauma, like my childhood SA trauma, um, there was a lot of like money involved and gifts and stuff like that. And so, and that showed up in like relationships and things with other people as well. Growing up was a lot of the themes of that if I'm allowing people to pay for things, it means that they have access to my body and access to my autonomy. So I eventually just shut off all support. And then like accepting support, and also just being shamed, you know, like a lot of people feel like, which I get because it's like the society we grew up in, you know, it's like, I grew up, my mom showed me about unhoused people and how like they're just normal people, they just have hardships and stuff. And I remember my mom would always take me to like buy them food, and we would talk to them. And I remember this one time I was on the bus, and there was a man, he had this big jar of change, and we were on the bus in San Francisco, and my mom started talking to him, and he was talking about like how him and his son were like homeless, and he's been trying to find a job, but nobody hires him because he can't shower, he can't take care of himself, and you know, he's just feeling really defeated. And my mom gave him everything we had with us that she could, and that really stuck with me, that moment with him. And he was almost crying on the bus and just was so happy that like somebody was taking the time to talk to him and tell him his story. And I used to get drunk in San Francisco with my friends, and I used to like run off, and I'd go, there's this one time I ran off and I went and I went and sat with these unhoused people, and I was talking to this one guy. I can't remember his name right now, but it'll come to me later. But I have a picture of us, and we just sat there talking, and he told me his whole life story of like how when he was a teenager, his parents were really abusive, and he got on drugs, and then he ran away. And since he ran away when he was 16, and he'd been homeless since then. And when we were talking, he was in his 30s. And he had recently gotten ran over and couldn't get medical care, and was just walking around with this bum leg, and like didn't have anything. I gave him the money that I had, but we mostly just sat there talking. And I remember we hugged, and I have a picture of us. I'll put it at the end, but I remember that really changed my not that moment, but like that's what I always wanted to do, was I wanted to become a videographer, and I wanted to go and record people in their lives and hear their stories, because I feel like we don't often get to have these conversations with people. And I don't know, I was just thinking about that. But I was thinking about how, you know, like whenever we feel judgment towards somebody else, it's because we have that judgment towards us, and we have to heal that judgment we have towards us, and realize it's not coming from somebody else, it's coming from inside of ourselves. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. And you know what? I'm gonna go buy that smoothie. I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a good morning. It's 9:57, and I'm gonna go to the smoothie place and get a smoothie. The birth of new energy. I am a celebration of life. That made me emotional. Sophia. There's Sophia, Gollum's sister. She's a little sassy. The man I was talking about, he went by Pan.